On the surface, Ella McCay has all the ingredients for a feel-good, inspirational story. We have Mackey from the Netflix series Sex Education, a fantastic supporting cast, and that includes the legendary voice of Marge Simpson. But despite all the great things that this movie had going for it, in the end, it did kind of let me down a bit. Let's discuss. Ella McCay tells the story of a young politician who is trying to juggle her personal life with her career ambitions. Not easy to do no matter what career you're picking, right? So overall, not a terribly fresh concept, but it's still a movie I was pretty interested to see. Look, it's got Jamie Lee Curtis. If you've got Jamie Lee Curtis in your movie, you've at least got my attention. Ella McCay stars Mackey, Woody Harrelson, Kumail Nanjiani, Spike Fearn, Jack Lowden, Jamie Lee Curtis, Albert Brooks, and Julie Kavner, who is the legendary voice of Marge Simpson. The cast is great. I've been a fan of Emma since I saw her in the Netflix series Sex Education, like I mentioned at the start of this video. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that series. It's a very, very hilarious yet heartwarming series that I really recommend. And I feel like what made that series so special is that remarkable cast. If it didn't have that cast, all those actors, it wouldn't have stood out to me so much. And so it's really cool seeing somebody like Emma come from that cast, from that series, and get to be the lead star of a mainstream movie. I mean, that's a victory, guys. That is awesome. Jamie Lee Curtis, do I need to say more? I mean, this is a fantastic actress. I'm a fan of this woman as well. She's had a very wide and storied career, lots of different types of roles that she's taken throughout the years. And as she's gotten older, her roles have actually become more interesting than they were when she was younger. And I think that that is still the case in this movie. She's so effortlessly easy to enjoy. I do feel like I would get along with Jamie Lee Curtis. I feel like she'd probably be lecturing me and disappointed about my life choices because for some reason she reminds me of my aunt, and maybe that's why I'm so into her. But yeah, her role in this movie is one of the biggest selling points for seeing this movie. Jack Lowden, Ayo Edebiri, Albert Brooks, suffice to say, this cast works. This cast is firing on all cylinders. There's a lot of very talented people thrown into this movie. Then there's the story. As I said, it's not a terribly unique concept. It's not fresh. It doesn't feel very fresh to me. Something about it just felt like it was lacking. I liked the idea of watching an everyday person become a politician and seeing the kind of thoughts that they have, the kind of struggles that they have. I thought that that sounded like a really interesting concept. However, it didn't really turn out to be as interesting or as fresh as I was really expecting it to be. The personal drama that she's going through in this movie just is not offering anything that you and I and us as the audience have not already experienced. It feels a little bit cookie cutter. And so what I ended up being left with is a movie that's not really great until we get Mackey and Jamie Lee Curtis together on screen, and then it really does shine. Well, she's not in the entire movie, so those moments when we don't get Jamie Lee Curtis and Mackey sharing the screen together, and we don't get Albert Brooks and Mackey, it just feels like there's something missing. It just feels like any of the stories surrounding Ella and her husband, that stuff just ultimately was just falling flat to me. I think Jack Lowden's character in this movie is written about as cliche as you can get. He's playing a very typical douchebag character. I know there's only so many ways you can write a douchebag, but it just feels like this movie took the route we've already seen so many times before. In addition to Jamie Lee Curtis and Mackey having fantastic chemistry, there is also a really good scene or two between Mackey and Spike Fearn. Spike, by the way, does a really good job delivering his character. He comes across exactly as I think he's meant to be portrayed, and that is somebody who is suffering from anxiety. He's a little bit neurotic, a bit anxious, ADHD, all over the place, scatterbrain. I thought he did a fantastic job playing that character, and his scene with Mackey, it really did work. It's those moments where the movie really shines. It's these kind of moments, but it's the moments where it's Ella and the husband. Again, just not very compelling. When I was watching this movie, I started drawing a parallel between this film and that new Netflix movie, Jay Kelly. In that film, we're seeing a man who has basically sacrificed everything and everybody to be the highly successful actor that he is. And in this movie, it feels like you're seeing Ella at the beginning, maybe at that crossroad that at some point Jay Kelly was at. She's at this point where she's got to decide, what is she going to throw away? What is she going to sacrifice to do this to follow this career ambition. And so I did find that part of the movie interesting. This is something that I think I'm thinking about more as I'm getting older, realizing that you don't need to make your career everything. It doesn't need to be your entire identity. If you make it so that that is all you are living for, you're gonna be lonely, and that's not a great way to live. I think this film is a bunch of great concepts tossed together with some fantastic actors in a story that just didn't have as much to say as it could have. It's a gift that's been given to us that's wrapped up in the same damn Christmas paper that we used last year and the year before and the year before that. It's just like, hey, I like this paper. I liked it a lot 5 years ago. I liked it a lot 10 years ago. Now I'm thinking I want some new fucking paper. And that's what I felt like this movie made me think. I wanted some new concepts of some new ways to create drama for these characters besides for this marital spat that we got. It could have been better, man. It could have been better. I will say this movie has a certain 90s quality to me. It feels like a return to films that are really sorely missed. It's nice to see a non-big budget movie. I am glad that we still get movies like this, dramas and, these indie projects. I want these to continue on. How relieving it is to see a non-big blockbuster action spectacle be on the big screen. But this just might not be the one that's gonna win anybody over. If you're on the fence about sitting through a drama and you're like, I normally watch blockbusters, my wife's trying to tell me to go see this drama, well, this is probably not the one that's gonna win you over. But I did appreciate everything that this movie was trying to do. I liked this cast a lot, and I really do think that if we can keep moving forward with movies like this, cinema could have a chance of being great again. Bottom line for me, this movie is a 6 out of 10. Not exactly the home run I was hoping for. Didn't really tug on the heartstrings nearly as much as I thought. At times, I just felt like this feels like re-washed laundry that's been washed too many times, and now there's holes in it. So that's my thoughts on this movie. If you guys saw this movie, go ahead and put your thoughts on it in the comments and let me know. And if you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button to let me know. And please, if you want to hear more things from me, movie reviews, TV show reviews, subscribe to this channel. Later.